All right. So we're going to start off today with our guest speaker, who we have here in person is Tony Gaston. And he's from Hunt Companies, Vice President of Development. And then after his presentation, there'll be time for Q&A. And then after that, I'll do a brief community update. And then hopefully we'll have time for some Q&A after that. Again, if we run out of time and you don't get a chance to speak, then you can just send me an email and we'll follow up with your issue or your concern. So a brief introduction for Tony. He is the Senior VP for Hunt Development Group, Hawaii. He's had 33 years in all aspects of master plan communities and development, both in urban and suburban environments. He oversees the planning and execution of major infrastructure and roadway improvements for offsite and subdivision work across Hunt's numerous projects statewide. And currently, his primary focus is the surrounding roadways for the future Veterans Affairs community-based outpatient clinic in Kalaeloa, which is just Makaya Costco and just down the street from where I live in Kalaeloa. Tony is also working extensively on surrounding roadways for 2 upcoming parcels, as well as ensuring water and wastewater availability for Hunt's 530-acre Kalaeloa development. And simultaneously, he provides significant support to Hunt's asset management team to address construction changes. Prior to joining Hunt, Tony spent the majority of his career at Castle & Cook, Homes Hawaii, Parsons Corporation, and A&B Properties. He is a graduate of Mililani High School. He earned his BS degree in civil engineering from UH, and also his MBA from University of Phoenix. And he serves as the chairperson of both the American Society of Civil Engineers, Oahu MPO Committee, and the Mililani Middle School's School Community Council. Tony, take it away.
Oh, thank you very much. Do I switch?
Yep. Okay, right here.
Well, thank you so much for the introduction. Gosh, so nice of you. Oh my gosh. Well, first off, good morning, everybody. I was asked to come here and talk a little bit about Hunt Companies and everything we're doing in Kalaeloa, and I'll try to make this quick and at the same time informative for everybody, because we are trying to do a lot out here, and I'll open it up to any questions afterwards. So there, okay, yeah, so Hunt, again, is a company that's been in Hawaii now for over 30 years, and the company is a mainland company. It's headquartered out of Texas, but Hunt is huge here in Hawaii. You can see on this map here that we are in all the major Hawaii counties, and we have over 200 employees spread out all over the place. There's a whole bunch of entities that Hunt is tied in with, and I'll briefly explain these to you. CGL, this is an entity that specializes in planning, designing, maintaining justice facilities, meaning correctional centers. So, you know, Windward Community College, there's a correctional facility getting some upgrades over there. CGL is doing that. They already started, and all that work will be done, is scheduled to be completed in early part of 2024. Hunt Capital Partners, the next entity, partners with other groups on upcoming projects. Hunt Capital Partners recently partnered with a Pacific Development Group. They are an entity who are going to be building the Halava housing project, which is right across the street from the Arizona Memorial affordable project. That's the one, if you're driving on Cam Highway, you're driving from the stadium going towards Hickam, Pearl Harbor, and there's a big tower, you can see it in Wahine on the side of it. That is one of the towers. Hunt Capital Partners is partnering with another development group to build another one right next to it. The next entity, Hunt Military Communities. Oh gosh, this is a big one, because back in, let's say, the mid to late 1990s, the military said, hey, we've got all this housing on our military installations, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, all of them. We don't need to manage them. We still need to have them for our personnel to live in, but we don't need them anymore. Why don't we make contracts with private entities to come in and manage all the housing for us? Hunt is now managing all Navy and Marine housing in Hawaii. So everything on the Marine base, everything in Pearl Harbor, everything at Camp Smith. Hunt is like the landlord. We don't own the property, but we're like the landlord. So we operate not only the housing, but also the recreational facilities, the MWR stuff. Hunt's regional office is where I'm from. That is where the development group is, and we help out with the new development as well as asset management, meaning the properties we have, we also do active management of those. And finally, there's Moss. Moss is a construction outfit affiliated with Hunt, and they just recently did some construction work, and we partner with them quite a bit. So if you can go to the next slide, what I do want to talk about is a big project that Moss just worked on. Okay, look on the right side. That is the University of Hawaii RISE project. Okay, what is that? Okay, how many of you know about UH? If you know that area, to get there, you go up, you get off the freeway, you go up University Avenue, get Dole Street, right? The first turn. The next street is Metcalf. You can only turn left. Used to have a pink building over there. And that pink building was where the YWCA was, Burger King back then. Okay, that's where the UH RISE is. What we're doing is we built another 386 dormitories over there. Much high demand. Oh my gosh. Okay, first off, this thing was supposed to be done in August, and it was. So guess what? Students moved in. And we went up there. The students, oh my gosh, they were so happy because brand new dorm. 386 dorms, and it's all upgraded. It's got all the high-tech stuff in there. That's why these things are just snatched up like hotcakes. So Moss and Hunt partnered on this one, worked with UH to get this done. The one on the left, that's the Halava View Apartments. That's the one I was talking about earlier. So this one, again, an affordable project next to the existing one, right across the street from the Arizona Memorial. There's going to be 386 units in here, all affordable, ranging from 2 to 4 bedroom. So it's going to be nice. So a lot of good things Hunt's trying to do, but you know what? Okay, I talked enough about this. I wanted to talk more about Hunt's role in Kalaeloa. So let's go to the next slide. Okay. As you all know, Kalaeloa used to be the old Barbers Point Naval Air Station, right? This thing is huge. It's 3,800 acres big. And this base closure process, some of you may not know, and some of you might, it started in the mid to late 90s, right? And after it closed, it was transitioned over, and HCDA, or the Hawaii Community Development Authority, became the overall master planners for Barbers Point / what they call now Kalaeloa. The shared images that you see at top, those are the Hunt parcels that are part of Kalaeloa. So even though it's 3,800 acres, you see Hunt doesn't have it all. So I'm going to zoom in on it. So if you go to the next slide. Okay, zooming in on it, you can see now the distribution. So yes, the Hunt parcels are up top, but look who else has a lot of property out there. The non-shaded area. They are the majority landowner. Take a wild guess what that is. Kalaeloa Airport. So it's owned and operated by state DOT. They are the biggest landowner in Kalaeloa. Hunt is the yellow numerical parcels. Now, another huge landowner out there is in purple, DHHL. They have a lot of pieces also. The Navy is in light blue. You can see their areas. Now, the Navy purposely kept those pieces for MWR, or Morale, Welfare, Recreation Services. The right side, that's the golf course. Okay, and on the bottom, you see the White Plains and Nimitz Beach is extremely popular with local people now, right? Okay, also out there is the Hawaii Air National Guard. They have their headquarters out there. That's in red. Now, HCDA, yes, they are the overall master plan developer, but they also have some land pieces that they're going to be coming in working on, and those are in orange. Okay, now the green portions, you see it says city and county right now because that's the future. It's still owned by the Navy right now, but they're going through a transition process where it'll be transitioned over to the city. And the city's goal here is to keep it as recreational facilities also. There's a master plan up on the upper region already to show there's one big, huge regional park that could be potentially brought to this Kalaeloa area.
Right. Isn't there a solar farm someplace?
Okay. Yes. If you want to go back, well, actually, you don't have to go back. You see where 19B is? On the upper right side, that's where the solar farm is. That's under Hunt's property. Now, there's another solar farm that you may be referencing down in HCDA's area in the orange on the bottom right. So there are a couple out there. Okay. Now, okay, let me see. Did I do this? Okay. Okay. So in this area, again, as I mentioned, it's 3,800 acres and Hunt is just a piece of it. We're only about 550 or about 14%, but you know what? We're at the top. We're in the core area, essentially. So what Hunt wants to do, hey, we're in the core area. Let's see some of the good things that we can do. So if you can go to the next slide. Okay. This is an image showing what the bachelor officers' quarters used to be like. Now, this is where it used to have 300 units for bachelor officers. They would live there. After the base closed in the early to mid 90s, there was a big, long time transition period before all the land got transferred to others and responsibilities changed. During that period, this place got trashed. Look at it. It looks terrible. I mean, so much vandalism, and it was just, destroyed. Now, this is a piece, though, that was given to Hunt. So Hunt said, oh my gosh, what are we going to do with this? We didn't want to keep it like this. We said, let's see what we can do to come in and restore it. So if you can go to the next slide. This is what we did. We came in, what used to be 300 units for bachelor officers. We changed it to 100 units. We combined them, made them more efficient. And if you guys drive over there, you know what Wakea Gardens is? That's what it is now. Yeah, so we transitioned the old bachelor officer quarters into Wakea Gardens and made it livable. So livable, it's 100% occupied. I mean, people want to live there, so it's great. Next slide.
Is it 2 bedroom?
It ranges, yeah. Well, 1, 2. It's mostly small. So, but then again, it was sized larger instead of just having the little dens.
Is that affordable?
It's all affordable, 100%. That's right.
There's a dog park too.
There's a dog park where the swimming pool used to be.
Yes.
So we filled the swimming pool with rocks, big boulders, and then at the top smoothed it out, and we created a dog park. That's right. To make it more community friendly. Some of the other things that Hunt did out here. So on the upper left, I'm going to go clockwise. Upper left, that's Dream House. That's the charter school. Okay. In the middle, that's where Coral Crater is. And it's in a big hole because you know what? That hole serves a drainage purpose. So if it rains, nobody's going to want to be doing zip lining, right? So that's okay. It'll serve its purpose as a drainage sump pit. But when it's dry, it's used by Coral Crater. The upper right image shows where Kalaeloa Professional Center is. Prior to that, that used to be the base medical facility. Yes, exactly. It used to be the medical facility. It wasn't a hospital, just the medical facility. So when the base closed, Hunt went in there and did a whole bunch of renovations, transitioned it into the professional center. And that's another building that's 100% occupied. And you know what? People like it because they don't need to drive downtown now. So they can come out here much more better. Okay, on the bottom, that's something we didn't change because it's being heavily used, and that's the bowling alley. Oh my gosh, you know what? Bowling alley, I'm so happy we kept it because one day I had a meeting with HCDA. I went out there and it was a Tuesday morning at about 8:30, 8:45 because our meeting was at 9. And normally I, park in the bowling alley parking lot. And I went there, oh my God, it was packed already. No parking anywhere. Cars are outside. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I had to go across the street and park. When I walked up there, I saw all these people waiting. Can I ask what you're waiting for? League play. A bowling league was there and everything was packed. So this bowling center is very heavily used. And even today, I drove by there, packed. It's neat that the bowling alley's still going.
It's only 2, right?
No, well, there's Leeward, IAEA. There's one on the Marine base at Kaneohe. There's this one. So the military installations still have them. Yeah. But that's why this is a good one out even further on the leeward side. See, very heavily used. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Okay, on the bottom in the middle, that's 5-star. If you drive over there, you see those big red buildings, right? So they are an industrial tenant and they supply a lot of medical materials for hospitals. And then on the bottom left is American Renaissance Academy. Okay, next slide. Okay, so remember I talked a little bit about the master plan, and it's 3,800 acres, and Hunt is just a piece of it. HCDA does have goals, though, for the whole 3,800 acres, and this is what it is. They want to create walkable neighborhoods in all of Kalaeloa, build a strong community, create an economic engine for this entire region, and restore and upgrade the infrastructure. Infrastructure meaning the roadways and utilities, like the sewer, the water, and the electrical. All these things they want to try and do. Now, in order to do that, though, there's quite a bit that needs to be done. So if you go back, okay, one more slide. So again, by looking at this one, you remember Hunt is not the whole thing, but we are the core area. So I wanted to show you, we're focused more at the top, okay, not the whole thing. So if you can go to the next slide. Okay, this shows the top portion where all of Hunt's parcels are. Hunt's parcels are all circled or outlined in red. It goes from the first entry over on the Geiger Road side, going all the way to the Costco side, see? We do kind of span it, but guess what? You can see there's pockets in there that Hunt doesn't own. Some people, when they drive through here, they think that Hunt owns everything, see? But we don't. That's why we're just a contributor to the overall master plan. But at the same time, even though we're contributing, we want to do as good as we can on the parcels that we have.
So who owns the rest?
It's going to be varied. So you remember that one image I showed that had all the different colors in there? Those were the big landowners. But so let's say, if you look between parcel 15 and parcel 17B, those are units that used to be occupied by the military personnel. Now they are owned by, there's a couple entities. I know the parent company is a Greystone, see? So they're the ones, Greystone, right? Yes. Greystar, that's the one. Yeah, thank you. They're the ones that own it, and then they rent it out to various people. And it's not just for military use anymore.
So that's not Hunt's.
It's not Hunt, right? Okay, now similarly, you see the area between parcels 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Same thing. And then all the areas below, you can see only the Hunt parcels are circled in red or outlined in red. Yeah, see, so that's something I just want everybody to see. Okay, but Hunt's got a lot of activity going on, and that's over at parcel 1. That's where the VA clinic is coming up. So if you can click one more time, you'll see it'll be outlined. That's the area over where all the construction is. Go ahead and click again. Okay, this is the project overall now, parcel 1 being done now. Yes, the VA clinic is coming in. You can see that on the upper left, and on the upper right, Hunt, working with Gentry Homes, got Gentry to come in and start building houses. They're going to be building 389 new homes over there in that space, but in all the undeveloped space. So they're going to be around the VA clinic, 389 homes. But of course, in order to get to all these homes, you got to have some roads and stuff and utilities. So if you can click, the first one is the extension of Kamakila. So Kamakila coming down from Costco, it's 2 lanes going up and down. Those 2 lanes are going to continue going all the way down. And there's going to be some changes. There's no bike lanes up top, but there's going to be bike lanes on the bottom. And there's still going to be the planter strips on both sides with sidewalks. Go ahead and click again. Okay, FDR is getting widened. If you remember, it used to be just 2 lanes. And if you've driven over there now, you see it's, it's kind of going through this process now. It's being widened to 4 lanes. So 2 lanes going in both directions, and it's going to stop right there because eventually the 4 lanes is going to go all the way to Eva Beach. It's going to be neat. Okay, next click. Boxer Road is a road that used to go through that area. Now it's being relocated to the bottom. Now it looks kind of funky down there because you see only half of it is done, and it's because it is being done in increments. But this increment is taking care of the important part. We're putting in the 2 vehicular lanes no matter what. So you'll be able to have 2 cars driving through at the same time in both directions, and then a sidewalk on the Mauka side. In the future, it'll be expanded. We'll still have the 2 travel lanes, but there will be sidewalks on both sides. There'll be parking and bike lanes. Okay, one more click. Okay, this shows Kapolei Avenue. Now, this is the roadway that's next to the elementary school. Kapolei, if some of you can remember, used to be nothing but a 20-foot wide asphalt road and had some parking stalls for some of the teachers at the elementary school. Hunt is coming in and making this road 66 feet wide right of way now. So it's going from 20 to 66. So yes, it'll still have the 2 travel lanes, but now it's going to have planter strips and sidewalks on both sides of the road. Ultimately, having sidewalk on the side where the school is makes it safer for the keiki, right? Exactly.
For context, that's Barbers Point Elementary, right to the right.
Correct. That's Barbers Point Elementary School. Yes.
Solar on top.
No, is that solar on top? Looks like it. Yeah, could be. Yeah. So yeah, and honestly, it's to service the elementary school. And I've been working extensively with the principal over there, Principal Kalaeloa. She and I'm keeping her in the loop. If you've noticed that their traffic pattern had to reroute when our project started also. So I work with her to make sure I'm taking care of not only the faculty, but all the parents when they come in the mornings and in the afternoons. Okay, next slide. Okay, so if you remember, I said that there were going to be some changes on FDR because we are doing some more of the work. FDR, again, is becoming a 4-lane road, 2 lanes going in both directions. If you can go ahead and click one more time now. What we're doing is changing the travel pattern because we need to do some repair work on the road, but we do not want to inhibit travel. So we got to make sure what used to be 2 lanes shared, we're distributing it now. So going Diamond Head bound, you're going to travel on the Mackay side. Okay. If you can click one more time. Going leeward bound, you travel on the Mauka side. So even though we're still doing work, we're working around the cars because we want to make sure people can still continue flowing through there. So some of you may have seen it if you've driven over there already. Okay. Click again. Okay. You remember I talked about Kapolei? That's the road next to the elementary school. All of the other roads, you know, they got asphalt pavement on top of them and things are looking like it's coming to a close. Kapolei, not much has been done yet. And there's one reason. You know, there's a sidewalk that we want to put for the students to make it a safer condition for them on the elementary school side. Well, that sidewalk is also going to be in DOE property right now. Okay. DOE property here is different from all other DOE properties because it used to be on a naval air station. So DOE has a lease with the United States Department of Education. But wait, the base is closed. Doesn't that lease go away? No, not yet. That lease remains in place until the year 2032. Okay, so because of that, the only way the sidewalk could be installed is if we get approvals from the United States DOE. And it's taking some time. And justifiable US DOE, they're not here. So there's a lot of explaining that needs to be done, et cetera. Unfortunately, it's been taking about 1.5 years. We're almost there, I hope, because we want to finish this road and we can get it safer for everybody over there. So we're getting there. That's another reason why we had to go reroute a lot of the travel patterns and everything. But so far, so good. Hopefully, again, get that done and get those roads completed, let's say by January of next year. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is the intersection of Kapolei Parkway and Wakea. I bring this up because Wakea, if you guys know, this leads directly to H1, right? The entry, right? Okay. Because of that, there's a lot of traffic at this intersection. Okay. If we bring in more development from the VA clinic and Gentry Homes, there's going to be even more cars trying to get through this intersection. During peak times, you know what? Because there's so many cars trying to turn, it's not that safe. So the city and county said, can you guys put in some traffic signals? Oh, okay. So that's what those traffic signal arms that you see going up now. This was taken just a couple of weeks ago. So there's another month or so of work that's still going to occur. And then you'll see the traffic signals go up. After they go up, we turn them over to the city and county. They're the ones who come in and make them become operational. But after that happens, it becomes a safer condition during the peak travel hours. Okay, I talked a lot about all the offsite stuff, the roads and everything. What I want to do now is talk about the VA clinic. So if you can click. Okay, oh my gosh, the VA clinic, this is going to be a state-of-the-art facility. It's going to be about 89,000 square feet, single story, okay? And the big thing for me about this is, I've talked to a lot of veterans about this, and the majority, not majority, all the veterans go to Tripler for medical services. That's a long way, and get more traffic, everything. The fact that this clinic is coming out here is giving them a great opportunity now just to come down the street for those who live in Makakilo, those who live in the Leeward area, or even the Central Oahu. You can drive contra traffic, to come to the VA clinic. Now, this isn't going to be similar to Tripler, though. It's just a clinic. It's not a hospital. So, if you have clinics, they're normally open during working hours. They're not open all the time. But this is going to be a good place for the people to come. Next slide. Okay, this is the groundbreaking ceremony that occurred back in December of 2021. If you look third from the right, you see this nice guy over there. Yeah, so this happened in December of 2021. Next slide. It actually started in January of 2022. Again, it's a one-story building. Now, HCDA, city and county, they have these parking requirements. We far exceeded them for one reason. It's a medical facility. We want to make it easy for people to park there. So there's 528 parking spaces, way more than is needed. And, a lot more people getting Teslas now, that kind of stuff. So there's also 19 EV charging stalls. The building's going to be Green Globe certified. And again, the primary focus to provide the primary care, mental health, specialty care to veterans and families in the region. Right now, the building's about 80% complete. Construction is scheduled to be complete in January of 2024. And then the VA will come in and do their retrofit and get everything in there, materials, supplies, personnel, and then it's scheduled to open in the middle of 2024. Next slide. Okay, I wanted to show you some construction images going on. So one of the goals of the VA clinic is to have a lot of usable space. Yeah, it's hot here, but outside they wanted to have a lot of usable space. So they're putting in a lot of walkways and everything. So you can see all the construction guys putting that in. Next slide. Now, you remember I said it's a one-story building? Check out the guy in the bottom. Look how tall, look how high this is. This is a 30-foot high ceiling, see? So certain areas are going to have the volume because, again, this is a state-of-the-art facility. It's going to be very nice once you get in there. Next slide. This shows one of the corridors. So because you're going to have a lot of people working in there, right? So this shows the office space and the ceiling, and you can kind of see the colors that are inside the rooms. See? It's not just going to be white standard walls. There's going to be a whole bunch of different types of colors in there. Next slide. Okay, this shows you some of the overhead in the spacious areas. Check this out, these circular light fixtures. See, that's why it's going to be super nice when you get in there. Next slide.
Is that natural light?
Some natural light also, exactly. Very good catch. And this is the final image I wanted to show in the VA clinic, but take a look at this. See, this is going to be another one in the collection area. So you see the natural light in the background, right? But then if the lighting above desk space, etc., that's what it's going to look like. And they're still putting it in, but isn't that nice? It's not like going to be like the type you see here, see? They're doing a great job. This whole VA clinic is going to cost about $80 million of construction only. The total fee is close to about $130 million. So it's not cheap.
And the land is owned by?
Okay, so for the first 20 years, the land is still going to be owned by Hunt. And the VA clinic will be there for 20 years. The transition could potentially be after the 20-year lease is about to expire, the VA will come and get the land. That is probably what will happen. It is very good. It's more like a lease to own. Yeah, because you build such a nice facility. If the lease expires, what you're going to do, right? You got to keep that facility going, and it's going to be heavily used. So maybe there's a new lease, but I think it's more of a lease to own. Next slide. That's the essentially what I wanted to share with everybody today, but I'm open to any questions if anybody has any.
Are you thinking of putting another solar farm?
Not right now. No, we're talking with other developers. So, you know, I am currently trying to improve some more roadways already. So going through the design phases, we are talking with developers for adjoining parcels, and they want to do development, not solar farms. Yes. Mhm. Okay, those houses are being developed by Gentry Homes. So all we do is just give them the parcel. They're the ones coming and developing it and selling it. I know they have goals to sell some affordables, but I don't know how much. So you can check with Gentry. Okay, yes. Any other questions? Yes. Sure.
Is that the Air National Guard you said, or
Hawaii Air National Guard, yes.
I think it's Army National Guard.
Did I? Oh, that's right. No, I'm sorry, sir. You're correct. It is the Army National Guard. My bad. Yes.
Is anything planned for that old building all broken up and all that for us to take up?
Okay, that one Hunt did look at one point, trying to restore that one, but it was damaged much too much, so we couldn't restore that. So that will probably be demolished when future development occurs.
Okay, thank you very much, Tony.
Thank you, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Great. Thank you.
Now you know everything there is to know for Kalaeloa.
Everything.
And having lived there since 2004, it's been 19 years. It's near and dear to my heart. So thank you for doing so.
welcome.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of Kalaeloa, if you didn't see the morning paper, the Star Advertiser, on B1, there's a very get your hanky out before you read it. It's about a family that they came back to the Marine Corps Eva Field, right? And the family had a picture that the father had given me. The father served in World War II and was stationed there. And it's him sitting next to one of those revetments where they used to park the planes in this big concrete kind of Waikiki shell looking things, except smaller. And so she tracked it down and came here to see that. And so they had the Marine Corps cadets from do a proper welcoming thing, and they had a little ceremony and everything, and there was a lot of tears flowing. But
How old is the gentleman?
oh, the guy's passed away. He
Oh,
passed away. This is the guy's daughter. The family came. They had the photograph, which was taken in the 1946, and then she wanted to just see, and her dad sitting next to it, and she was able to track down which one it is. And so they came here. It was just yesterday that they were there, but it was when I read the article, it was just that aloha, you know, that the fact it's the riding stables now is what it's being used for. But the guy that runs the riding stables said, hey, why don't we do something special for this family since the father served and everything? And then they had a nice little thing for him. So yeah. So anyway, today's paper. All right, so let's just jump into our community updates. Okay, where are we? Kalaeloa electrical upgrades. Yeah. So there's $5 million allocated for the ACDA that Tony mentioned. Hawaii Community Development Authority is going to utilize $5 million for electrical upgrade. And so there's another $12.1 million for Saratoga Avenue electrical upgrade. And again, as Tony was mentioning, there's this is transferring all the customers of the Navy from that Navy electrical system to HECO, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what they're taking care of. And as a resident of Kalaeloa, I can vouch for frequent power outages for long periods of time. And I understand, just the
Yeah, I'll
transition.
jump in. That Saratoga upgrade will occur from Enterprise to Hornet. And it helps with the downtown area.
Yeah. Okay, and then next slide, capital improvement projects. There's $250,000 was released this month to finance a TOD, a transit-oriented development study for non-campus district lands at UH West Oahu. So they're planning on doing something there. Next, East Kapolei High School. Okay, located between Farrington Highway, you can see there, and the freeway. $15 million was allocated this past session for design and construction and for ground and site improvement and equipment. D.R. Horton, the developer, is scheduled to complete the high school pad where the buildings will be, and the adjacent roadways and utilities by March of 2024. And then they'll be ready to turn over the 47 acres to DOE so that they can start working on the much needed school. As you know, Campbell is the highest population high school for the entire state, right?
It's got over 3,000 kids.
Yeah. So this is really going to be helpful for our community. Next slide, East Kapolei Elementary School. You can see over on the right, that's located just above Kahi'imohala Medical Center between Farrington and the freeway. Construction is from 2025 to 2027. The site work has been completed and it's ready for construction to begin. And the land commitment for both the new high school and the elementary school to turn over to DOE will be by the end of 2023 or early 2024.
Like, where is the cutoff for the kids, the district to attend the school?
You know, that's a good question, darling. We'll check it out and get back to you. Yeah. And opening for the school year of 2027 and 2028. That's what their plans are. And then next, Parkway Villages. I was there for the groundbreaking this past Tuesday. And it's one of the largest affordable city housing projects with just over 400 rental units. You can see it. It's just right over the corner here on the corner of Fort Barrett and Kapolei Parkway. And so the move-in date is estimated to be 1 year from now in October of 2024. And they're going to this is cool. I was talking to Kobayashi, the daughter of the developer, and she was saying what's really cool for local style is that they're going to have 2, 3, and 4 bedroom rentals, which is unheard of because basically catering to our large extended families, right? So to be able to rent affordable 4-bedroom. And they're also going to have 2 preschools right in the community to make it convenient for those who live in the community there. Rent's going to start at $700 a month at the low end, and then up to $1,600 a month. And so they're in the process of finalizing their building permits. Yeah. So next one, there's the location. There's Kapolei Parkway, Fort Barrett. Yeah.
Is it gonna be housing for purchase, affordable housing to purchase?
Rental.
Only
Rental. Yeah. So there it is. Just to get your bearings there in the corner there, and you'll see the black tarp on the fences there across from the gas station and across from. Yeah. And then Gentry Homes, right? So that's the one between Barbers Point and Costco that we were talking about earlier, Mackay of Roosevelt Boulevard, 389 homes total. The construction has begun, and the building construction is starting on the 256 multifamily homes first. And they're working on permits for the 133 single-family homes. It's integrated affordable workforce housing, and the multifamily housing units will have 2 reserve units, each with more affordable rates. And then construction has started on the 8-plex multifamily building containing model homes, as well as 3 single-family model homes. And both the single-family and the multifamily buildings are being built, as well as needed infrastructure. So they're planning for the model complex blessings to be mid-November, and would likely to go to sale of the first units as soon as they get approvals And then that is hopefully by the end of this year, we'll start selling the units. Yeah. I was surprised how quickly they're going up, Tony, because I drive, go to Costco, I go down that road. And then when they opened it up to the 4 lanes, as you were saying, just makes it so much easier. And
They are going like gangbusters
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
Faster than what they've done in ever.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They admitted that to me.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that they're faster.
they're going faster.
yeah, yeah, it is.
But it's neat because this will be the first one for Kalaeloa.
Right,
see? So
right.
it'll be a good start.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that, there'll be some affordable housing.
Yeah, I'll get the details to you, Lita, once we.
The Kapolei Village, is that gonna be a state rental?
It's city and county. Yeah, yeah.
Because,
There were some delays, and so it was really nice being there, and just a lot of smiling faces there for.
I was just thinking because, I thought that used to be a DOE land,
Right.
and we've been getting a lot of calls at the school asking what's being built there, what's being built there. and it's
Yeah.
like, we don't know, so how can you not know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's a good point. And the other thing about it is think about it, that you've got just over 400 units. They're going to have their own, start off with their own preschools. Then you got Kapolei Elementary School. Then you got the high school here, Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Okay. Next. And then this is the state veterans home. There's some confusion. This is the one that's across from Walmart. And so the clinic is the one in Kalaeloa. This is the actual veterans home. Nearly 90,000 square foot facility. It's got 120 large private rooms with private bathroom. Construction is now 90% complete. And there have been a few delays. Yeah. Right across the street
Right
from
across the
Walmart.
street.
Yeah. That big open field, and it's on this side. Yeah. Well, you can see there. Yeah. Up at the top there is Fort Barrett. And then that's Eva Village is there. And then Chili's is over on the right. You can't see it, but then that's where it is. Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes people will get confused between the two projects and come out to the VA clinic thinking it was the Holmes project, and then the Holmes people told us the same.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since to build both, since there was room
Yeah.
for both, yeah.
I don't know all the details of the
Yeah.
variables in terms of the land, and
The other-
you would think, yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing was that they both had Daniel K. Akaka in it. So then there was a bit of a fight to see if one could. So they said, okay, we'll both keep it. One will be the clinic, one will be the home. So.
Right.
Okay, and the next is the rail update. Those are all the slides of the clinic, yeah. And that is that officially opened, as you may have seen, on June 30th of this year. My wife Carol and I, we went on the maiden voyage along with several of my colleagues. And the next, so segment 1 of the rail in purple there consists of the 9 stations of the 10.75 miles from Kolaka'i to Aloha Stadium. And then segment 2 is in orange. It consists of from Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam to the Middle Street Station. And that'll be a construction of 4 stations, and it'll be ongoing through the end of this year, or through the end of the year. And then the third segment in green consists of 8 stations. That's from Kalihi to the Civic Center Station. And then from there, who knows? There's still some rumors about downtown and Ala Moana Center and UH Manoa, but we'll see what happens. Okay, next. And then for our session begins each year in January, the 3rd Wednesday of January, according to the Constitution. And so this coming year, 2024, it'll start on January 17th. We end our 60-day session the first week in May. And so I want to encourage you, if you have any ideas for bills, it does not have to be fully fleshed out. It can just be conceptual. We have many attorneys that will draw it up into the official legal language to be used. just contact my office and we'll take it from there. There are approximately 3,000 bills that are introduced each year for our consideration. Yes, a few raised eyebrows out there. And happily, only about 200 or 225 pass into law. But I like to look at it as each bill that's introduced, it's potentially the beginning of a conversation. And when you have a conversation, you want to make sure that you get the word out. Okay, this is what we're talking about. This is what they're going to try to do, right? And so, just send me an email, and then if you have any ideas, now would be a good time to do it. We're moving into October, and yeah. And then in closing, my September newsletter, Genevieve will pass that out. And then if you have any questions or concerns, contact my office. Q&A. Any questions? First, we'll take the people who are here live.
I got a question for Tony.
Sure.
Is Hunt going to be involved in the landfill, with the city at all?
If it's
Since they
not on our property, so we won't be involved.
I saw that news piece about with the military. They're
Yeah.
looking at that's
Navy's working with.
Yeah.
Here.
yeah,
I'm just wondering if Hunt's going to be involved.
right,
you know.
right.
That is you remember that map I showed where it was green for going future to the city?
Yeah.
My understanding is it's gonna be over there. So maybe that's why they're working with the city. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's right at the end of the airport. So there's you're not allowed to have a landfill at the end of an airport because of the birds or something like that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. Okay, any other questions here? Online, Meg?
Joe,
Hey, Joe, good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning, Senator, and all. Thank you so much for all the updates. I'll be a bit of a gadfly and just, if I may, ask if there might be anything shaking on the Makakilo Drive extension.
No. But, I think the fact that we had Roger Morton who came, last year, and that we've talked with Ed Sniffen, and they had the meeting up there that was called Frank Genadio, who's on the OMPO with the mayor showed up. And I think, but we're on it. And I think we just do our best. And if you have any suggestions, ideas, just make sure you let me know.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Anyone else online? And also, Joe, we'll let you, if we hear anything, we'll put you on the MDE, the list to notify you that there's some breaking news. But
Much obliged. Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. Morning.
Morning.
We're just winding up, but if you have any questions, what's your name?
Jim Thornberry.
Hey, Jim. Aloha. So we're in the Q&A part of our community meeting, and so you're welcome to chime in. Anyone else online?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming, everyone. And we'll see you next time. So our next meeting will be not in October, but November 4th, I think it is. Yeah, November 4th. Yeah. So between now and then, anything comes up, any issues or concerns, please contact the office. You will not be contacting my former community liaison. She's going on to bigger and better things. Yeah, she's retiring. She's retiring. But I protest too, but our new, we've already hired a replacement. Her name is Nanook, and she'll be starting on Monday. And so Meg will be in charge of training Nanook, and we'll go from there. But again, thank you online for participating, and thank you all in person for participating. Aloha.